It's Julia Renee.
And Kendall Aaliyah. Welcome back to the Know Your Power podcast. What's up, guys?
What's up, guys? We literally just spent like the past 5 minutes figuring out how we're going to intro this
now,
because you guys have heard the intro that Kendall has made by now.
If you hate it, just don't say anything. Yeah. Just fast forward every week.
She's worked really hard, so just pretend. Or DM her and tell her how much you love it. Or comment and tell us how much you love it.
Tell me that it's amazing even if you're lying.
Yeah, just lie.
Just lie.
Just lie to me.
Please.
This is the case where that's okay.
Anyway, we're going to probably like figure out what to say in the beginning. What's up, guys, is the current. Yeah. If we change it, just whatever.
It might change. We don't know. And I don't know. I don't even know if it matters. We've just been saying the same thing for 2 years now.
I don't know.
How many freaking episodes have we? 2 episodes.
It was one in the beginning. Now it's been 2 for at least a year.
There was a point where there was like 3. Remember we did those mini ones back in the days?
We were crazy. Yeah. Back in the day.
Back in the beginning. Back in the day. It really hasn't been that long.
But yeah, I feel like once we entered having 10,000 subscribers, we were like, it's time to be official.
We need to be official. And we probably the next episodes that you guys are seeing, maybe not the exact next one, but next week's episode, by this time, I'm going to be in a completely different place. Our studio might look like...
It might be a little janky.
It might be janky. And it'll be a little janky because we're going to completely like redo everything. We're thinking pink chairs instead of
If you have anything
stools
that you've seen other podcasters do that you're like, this would look really cool in your set, comment it, message us, whatever. We're open. I'm going to be on Pinterest a lot, I'm sure. I remember when we started, I had like a whole Pinterest board dedicated to like the vibe. Mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever looked at it.
We need to make another vibe one.
We need to make a new aesthetic pin.
I do that for everything.
Me too.
Like if I have a Halloween costume idea, Pinterest board.
No, literally. I think I still have some saved from last Halloween just in my like outfits board. So I was like, why do I have a bunch of like costumes in here? And I do think that's why.
I love doing Pinterest boards. Yeah. I've been doing them since I was like little, and I had the dumbest names for my boards.
Like?
So dumb.
Share with the cost.
So it was like...
Oh no.
Like if it was like... shoes, it would be like walk in my shoes.
An icon.
And if it was like cute things that I liked, I called it oh so cute. Exclamation point. I didn't just call it like hair, skin. I had to come up with a goofy name. I think
mine are very basic. Like I literally have one that was like my dream house, and it was home inspo, and then I changed. I grew up and I didn't want to delete that one. So I just made a new one called New Home Inspo.
Yeah, now mine's like New Home.
No, literally. Vibe. I do have a vibe page. I have a tattoo/art one. I have a photo shoot one. And then I have a client photo shoot one because sometimes my photo shoot ones are a little out there. So I don't want to use those for other people.
Yeah, I do have a photo shoot one.
I have a home gym one in case one day I build a home gym. Tell me those aren't aesthetic and cute.
Those are beautiful.
Yep. Never going to happen. But if it does, I have a whole pin for it.
I always wonder, like, would I like a home gym? You know what I mean?
Because I truly don't think I would.
I don't think I would. Like, I would love to have one that has just the basics. Mm-hmm. You know, you can get a good little leg pump. But the whole experience of getting ready for the gym, getting in the car, going to the gym. Yeah. Especially since we work from home. Sometimes it's the only time that we leave during the day. Yeah. And it's like,
just drive around the block, get hyped, come back.
Yeah. Just do circles in your neighborhood. And
for me, it's like the one time I enjoy being social without being outgoing, if that makes sense.
I like people being social around me.
Exactly. So I like the gym because I might wave at someone, and that's enough human interaction for me. The same way I like working at coffee shops because just having people around me also working gets me in the zone. Same thing at the gym. I don't think I would be that motivated if I was completely alone.
I don't think so either.
Some of it's performative.
Yeah. I'm like, it's a fashion show.
No, literally.
This is my fashion show.
I think the only time I would like it is like, you know, KK Fit, right? The twins.
Yes.
So they had, I don't know if they still work out in it, but they had a home gym and they used it for all of their content videos.
See, that's why I want one.
Yeah. I'm like, that would be sick to like film in here and maybe like once a week work out in here, get my content done. And then I don't have to worry about bringing my camera to like the real gym.
Yes.
That I would be down for.
Yes. Cause sometimes I'd be lugging. It's like, girl, where are you going? Are you going on a trip? I got my water bottle, you know, I got my shoes.
We need to make that video you sent me. Julia sent me a video of someone, I think they were just going into the office, but carrying 500 things. And I was like, this is us at the gym.
We need to like bring a prop, like energy drink or something, and then hold
gallon of
all
water.
The things. We need to have
gym bag.
What else
belt.
would a gym girly hold?
Glute bands, all the bands in the other hand.
That's true.
Bunch of scrunchies just up the arm, just in case you need them.
Okay, let's do that.
Headphones, backup hoodie, all the things. I actually don't bring that much into the gym, but I keep a lot in my car.
Yes, Kendall doesn't bring that much, and then me, on the other hand, I have this giant bag with so much stuff.
The other day I forgot my gym bag and I was so embarrassed. I know it's not actually embarrassing, but just me. Walking in with just my tripod, I looked like such a brat. I just walked in.
Hi.
Like all I had was my tripod and my camera. And it's like, get a life.
It's almost like when you walk in with just your tripod and not your gym bag, it looks like you're only there to take videos and not work out. At least when you have your gym bag, you're like, no, I swear I'm going to work out.
Well, the thing is I worked out with a friend and I left it in my car because I was too embarrassed. I didn't want to embarrass her like that either and just bring my tripod with us. But I knew I wanted photos after my workout. So after I went to my car, I got it, I brought it in, but like no one else knows that. They think I just walked in with my tripod and took pictures.
Or no one noticed.
No one noticed that, literally at all.
Yeah.
But if they did, that was
someone wrote an article about it.
No,
Kendall Aaliyah today at the gym. That's what we literally think. Well, today we're going to be talking about all things bodybuilding. So we asked you guys what you wanted to hear when we had the idea of doing another bodybuilding specific episode. So we just got a bunch of questions in. So why not just make it like a big Q&A of all these things?
Favorite.
And we also did get some audio ones in. So I'm not really sure how we're going to do this to start off, but we're going to have one in here so far.
One audio message, a reminder, if you want, instead of typing out your story in a minute and a half or less, preferably less, if you can condense your story or question, you'll just record in voice memos and then email it to knowyourpowerpodcast@gmail.com, because I feel like we'll do these semi-regularly and then we can just include your voice memo into the questions.
Yes. Before that, what the fuck's up with the gym?
I have a good one. Do you have a bad one?
I have like a couple little things that I'm honestly curious about what other people think. But what's yours?
Okay, mine first, because mine's a happy little one. So like I said, I worked out with a girlfriend of mine, and I don't work out with what?
Who?
You don't know her, but I'll introduce you. You would like her. She actually, I believe, I have really bad memory.
We didn't have any other friends.
I believe we met because she's a listener of the pod. And then I just saw her at the gym all the time, and she's such good energy. And like the other day I was at the gym and she blew me a kiss and I was like, I love this girl. Like just such good energy. So anyway, I was working out with her, and already that was like a step for me, right? Because I usually don't work out with people, especially if they're not my best friend, Julia. Jealous. The way I also get like just that little twinge of like, should have been me. Anyway, I'm working out with her, so it's already good vibes, already like having girl chat in between sets, like it's a good time. And then as I'm like walking, I went and bought an energy drink, of course. And as I'm walking back, like this other woman stops me and she's like, "You are so cute." And I was like, "Oh my God, I love you." And then we do a set and this other woman stops us and is asking my friend, "How did you grow your glutes? They look so good." Like we just had the most positive female energy. It was and in this gym that I've been going to, there's this own section that's just glute equipment, if you remember. And I feel like that's where all the girlies hang out, especially if you don't want to be like hip thrusting, squatting, RDLing in front of other people. It is kind of like secluded a little bit. So all the girls, like it was literally just women in there, and the energy was so high and everyone was so nice. And like everyone was kind of taking out their headphones and like we were just chatting, and it was one of those like good wholesome experiences where I was like, just a good reminder and like proof that when we are together and when we hype each other up, like we all get better because of it, because it just felt good.
Yes.
It was just so nice.
And then it does exist. It does exist for sure.
Because
and that's
I'm
awesome.
Introverted, as we know. Like I don't usually go out of my way to like say something to someone, but that's just a reminder that it can like really impact someone's day, because like I have thought about that girl's compliment calling me cute every single day. Like it's been 5 days and I'm still like, I think I love her. Like it really does change how someone feels about themselves that day. So just a reminder to keep spreading love and positivity, especially to other women in the gym.
Yes, because you really never know how she's currently feeling about herself. Like maybe she isn't feeling the best about like her body, or her confidence is a little bit low, or maybe she's like not really motivated to be there. And you say something and you go out of your comfort zone to say something, it could seriously just like change her whole day.
And every time I've ever, and of course they're genuine, I'm not like, how could I compliment this person? It's like when you think those things, if you go, oh, her shorts are really cute. Yes. Oh, I love her top.
Even if
her.
it's just like an offhand thing you think about.
And every time I have spoken up and gone a little out of my comfort zone and been like, hey, where's your top from? It's so cute, like whatever. And I'm always in my head about it. It is always met with like the most nice, positive reaction, because like, of course we all love getting complimented. So it just like leads to like a positive interaction on both ends, you know?
I love that.
So yeah, it was a cute one.
Mine, are not as cute. Okay. They're more like, I'm curious what other people think. So first of all, well, there was something really cute. Is this morning when I was going and doing cardio, I've been waking up. This morning I woke up at 4 a.m. My body just woke me up at 4 a.m. I
like to play a game when I wake up to go on Instagram and see how many hours it's been since Julia has posted.
I've been up since 4 a.m. and it's 10:12.
I think I woke up at like 7:50 and I clicked and it was like you on Stairmaster 3 hours ago. Yes. I was like, okay.
It really feels like I have 3 days in a day. Like from my 4 a.m. till I would say about 9 a.m. is like my cardio, all of that. And then it's like a second chunk and then it's the evening. It's wild. But yeah, I was doing my cardio and this older man comes up to me and he comes like around the corner and he's just like, you know, like, hey. And so I take my headphones off. I was like, hey, what's up? And he was like, are you a bodybuilder? And I was like, yes, I am. And he's like, I could tell. He's like, see, I saw you in here the other day and I couldn't tell because you had your hoodie on. And he said, and then when you took it off, I was like, she's a bodybuilder.
That's so funny.
It was so cute. And it was so sweet. And like in the same like moment, 10 minutes, somebody else comes and next to me, because I'm there for so long. Yeah. It's like people.
You're seeing the whole cycle.
I'm seeing all these different people. I'm like, what's up? Different kind of people. And this guy comes up to me or on the Stairmaster next to me. And I'm curious what you guys feel, if it's the rage of 1,000 suns that I feel whenever anybody, it doesn't matter who it is, will try to get your attention when you're like focused on, you know, something. Like I genuinely didn't, I'm so zoned in at that point. Like I'm editing a video or something like that. And he's leaning over his Stairmaster, like leaning over into my like Stairmaster area, and he starts waving his hand like in front of my face to get my attention. And I'm like, this is very abrupt. Yeah. I was like, it's 5 a.m. Yeah. Like I'm not ready for this.
For human interaction in general.
And then just starts like asking me, you know, about bodybuilding and stuff, which I genuinely don't mind. Like I love talking about the stuff that I love to do, but it was almost like he was angry that I didn't notice him and just like, yeah. So I'm curious, like, does that bother you?
That would definitely bother me too. I'm trying to like put it in my perspective of if I was on prep, because I think if you're just casually doing Stairmaster and that's just like when you go anyway, I think it's easier to pause or like take out a headphone or whatever and be like, what's up? But when I was in prep, there was no talking to me on that Stairmaster. I was fighting demons on that thing every morning. Yep. So I feel like your experience is super valid. I think you have the right also to ignore people at the gym. Like it's not a setting where you're supposed to be talking to everyone.
Yeah. It was like it was one of those presences. I don't even know if that's a word, that was making me like a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That I felt as soon as he like stepped on, you know, when you feel just people like staring at you. And I think the contrast and like having such a sweet reaction with this like older man who came, like he walked onto the side of it, you know, and he wasn't like waving me down and like getting mad that I didn't see him.
Yeah.
And he just kind of went to the side, and I took my headphones like, what's up, man? Like, you know, and then versus this other guy like leaning over.
Yeah.
Hello.
I think that like shows their intent too, and like level of like, it's almost like a respect thing. And I've definitely wanted to say something to someone. Maybe I know them from social media, or maybe I just want to like pay them a compliment. I wait until they're done. I would never be like, I'm going to go up to them mid set or like mid workout. Like just wait until you hop off. If you were walking like out of the gym and he quickly asked you a question, very easy to be like, oh yeah, here you go.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm like, I'm sorry.
No, I think that's valid.
Didn't see you. Yeah, so that was just a thing. That was weird. And then somebody was playing their music at the gym without headphones.
Oh, out loud?
Out loud.
Oh, no.
As loud as they could. Without headphones.
I like that you have gone to calm Julia, which scares me even more.
And I'm realizing that with how depleted I am, I easily get irritated. And that's just, I'm being honest, okay?
Thank you for your honesty.
I'm being honest. And if you ask my mom and sister, I am naturally more of a impatient and snippy, you know, I'm fiery. You guys know that about me. But when I'm on prep, it's like.
Yeah, that'll turn anyone fiery.
But it was like, and I'm like, is this normal? Is this normal?
That reminds me of the guy that was like yelling into his mic behind me that one time. I shared this story on the pod forever ago, but same energy where it's like, just be courteous of the people around you. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I remember when you said
I'm
that.
assuming this is at a commercial gym?
It's at Lift ATX.
Oh.
Yeah.
They blast their own music.
But I'm in the cardio room. She's doing cardio on the
okay.
Stairmaster next to me, and and she's blasting her music like on her phone. And I was like,
that would have bothered me. That's like when you're in a room and it's semi-quiet and someone's like watching TikTok full volume.
Or like on speakerphone having a really personal conversation that you're like, I don't think I need to be here for this.
Literally.
I don't think I should be hearing this.
Sometimes I'm like at Target on the phone because I'll be like on the phone with like my mom driving to Target, but then like we're deep in convo, so I don't want to hang up on her. And I'm never a speaker person, but even in my ear, I'm like, how do I respond to this without? Or the other day, this literally happened. I had to put her on speaker because I was picking something up. And she was talking. So I was like, one sec. And as I'm reaching down, she goes, well, if the people around you weren't so loud. And I was like, Mom, I'm on
blaming
speaker.
them. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I was like, way to embarrass me. No one heard.
Tell
but I
all
was
of
like,
Target
God
to
forbid.
shut up.
Yeah, no, that was not good.
I love that.
Were those your two gym experiences?
Yeah. That was it. It was interesting. I'm
surprised that Lyft.
I know.
I feel like people at Lyft like know the vibe.
Yeah, it was just strange. Like it starts to make you be like, wait, am I the weird one? Yeah. Am I weird for wearing headphones? You know?
You're not. Trust.
But this past weekend, I went to Fort Worth for the CrossFit and Buff Chick game, or CrossFit Games, and Buff Chick had like a vendor booth there. I didn't even end up going to the CrossFit Games just because we were doing like so many different things with Buff Chick, like the Hydra Packs launched and stuff like that. It was so fun. I was definitely really overly exhausted during that weekend. I think that it was the first time I had slowed down enough, because usually on the weekends I don't get time to take breaks. And I know like we were doing photo shoots and we were going to different things, but I had a lot more downtime, like chilling. And I think it just kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, oh yeah, I think I'm tired.
Yeah.
So, but it was such a fun trip and it was great, but something that I had my check-in with my coach, and I think it's because I lost another 5 pounds in a week. So my body was
congrats.
like, bro, that's whoa, which I'm happy about. So happy and grateful that that's happening. But I think it just kind of hit me hard. But in my check-in with my coach, every year when you compete as an IFBB pro, you need to renew your IFBB pro card. Similar to like the NPC, when you compete in the NPC, you have to renew your NPC card. So I haven't done that since 2022 when I competed in the Puerto Rico Pro.
Yeah.
And my coach told me in the check-in, because I was asking him, do you have the email to the people where I can renew it so that I'm ready to compete? And he said they made a new rule that if a IFBB Pro doesn't renew their pro card every year, you get stripped of your IFBB Pro card. And so I go into like a full panic. I'm like,
yeah.
I am not an IFBB Pro anymore. Oh my God. So I completely ignored everything else he said in that message and was like, I haven't renewed mine since 2022 and it's 2024. That is 2 years. And he's like, calm down. It's okay. Email these people and see like what the dealio is. And I was here expecting to be like, girl, you're not an IFBB Pro anymore. Because you have to requalify then. That means I'd have to go backwards and redo.
Which like you'd be fine. But
I mean, if that's what I need to do, that's what I need to do. But I get the email and I'm emailing them and I'm like just refreshing, like waiting for my email every single hours.
Oh my gosh, how stressful.
Yeah. And then the next day I got an email from them and they didn't say anything about it, nothing about the new rule. They just sent me the link to my portal to like, so I'm an IFBB Pro still.
Okay.
And I have renewed, but it was panic for a day.
I feel like if it's a new rule, maybe they're starting that for like the next year.
I'm also guessing too, it might be for the people that, get their IFBB Pro card and it's been years and they just not competing in the circuit thing.
Which, I guess it makes sense.
But yeah, that was a little freak out.
Wow, that's fascinating. I'm surprised they did that. But also it makes sense on like a business front, I suppose.
Yeah. They got to make their bank, you know what I'm saying?
I did something cool over the weekend, or technically Monday night. I went to WWE. They came to Austin. It was so much fun. And I want to be Rhea Ripley's best friend.
Who's that?
Oh my gosh. Don't say that. I didn't know who she was until like a month ago, but don't say that. I will show
Rhea Ripley.
That's is the most badass woman I think I've ever seen. And seeing her in person, so cool. It was like, I think I literally turned into like the heart eyes emoji on
You're
spot. Like just the coolest. Hold on. I need to find like a cool. She's just so badass.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like super cool. And she like did this cool entrance and ran out. And then it's this whole, like, I feel like WWE is reality TV for men. Like I'm fully convinced they have the
I see that.
They have love story plots, love triangles. Like it's this whole thing. So she's in this love triangle where the guy, whatever, it's all fake. Like they're all married in real life or like not together in real life. But for the reality TV sense of it all and to get you invested in their personal lives. Basically, like he had left her for this other wrestler who then took her title. So it was like this big event. Anyway, it was so much fun. I highly recommend if it's ever in your area, even if you sit up high, it's like going to any sporting event, but it's so theatrical that it's like watching like a performance and it's so fun.
I think I'd love that. Fun. I would definitely love that.
I was like, put me in. I'm ready.
Coach. I'm ready. Acting. Yeah. I can be an actor.
I could be ready.
But that really does sound like how like some men won't watch like reality TV because like, maybe they're not interested in it or there's a stigma, but that's like sports reality TV. So it's okay. It's know what funny. I mean? Even though I love that Zach will watch Love is Blind with me and I love him for that. And that's great. And he loves it. So
that's me watching WWE with Coop.
Yes.
That's all he wants out of me.
I feel that. Compromise where we can.
Yes.
So let's get into some bodybuilding questions. So the first one's actually going to be our audio message from Bex, and I do want to put a trigger warning first really quick for talk of eating disorders because if there's someone who has struggled with that in the past or currently struggling with it, we just want you to, be aware that she's going to talk pretty deeply about her eating disorder and bulimia, anorexia, stuff like that. So
if you're
warning.
If you're on YouTube, I do put the timestamps when we do Q&As.
Yeah.
Just skip to the next question. I don't believe there's a way to do that on Spotify, so just fast forward.
Yes.
And then like listen for a sec, be like, okay, they're still on it. Fast forward a little more. Yes. We don't want to make any of you uncomfortable or in a bad situation by listening to it.
Hi, ladies. My name is Becky and I'm 36. I'm from the Northeast in the UK. I just want to send you a message to say how much you guys have like really kept me inspired and motivated lately. I competed in my first bodybuilding show like this past April, and listening to your post-show blues and binge eating podcast really helped me like navigate an emotional roller coaster that followed. I have been suffering with like anorexia for about 3 years, and I'm now struggling with anorexia bulimia post-show. I have gained a healthy weight, but each day is like a total battle, and I'm trying to remain positive and really hopeful. But your episodes have provided me with a sense of direction and like an honest belief that there is light at the end of the tunnel. When I was anorexic, I was in a bad relationship where controlling food and exercise was the only thing that I felt I had control over. My body weight dropped so low that I could barely walk, and it was a dark time. But now I am a healthy weight and becoming stronger and focused on building muscle and becoming a happier, healthier version of myself. To be honest, the aftermath of my eating disorders left me with like severe IBS and gastritis, and the pain can be pretty overwhelming right now. But I'll push through it every day. That I'm hoping it'll heal through time. And I suppose any advice I'm looking for, like post show still, and advice on like managing these conditions, and like mindset of like feeling bigger and, you know, feeling like a normal, natural, healthy way off stage. I'm committed to kind of like my well-being, and your podcasts have just like really encouraged me to have like a beacon of hope. And I just want to thank you for like being such a wonderful part of my journey so far, and you guys have really helped me. So yeah, thanks so much, ladies. Love you. Bye.
You. Okay, first off, obsessed with voice memos, because hearing them makes me be like, this is a real human being.
It's just different. I don't know if I can handle it. It's too much.
I love it though. And first off, thank you for like praising us at all, and congratulations on your own journey and road to recovery, and for sharing your story with us. I know that's not easy ever.
And for being like courageous enough to send an audio message in with your story. One thing that Zach always says to me is that there is proof that you're healing if you're able to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and that for me, that is the hardest, biggest step.
Yes.
It took me even months into being recovered. I still, like, even now it's hard for me to talk about with certain people. I get like nervous almost. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that is always like the hardest step. So I think proof that you are in a very different stage is the fact that you can talk about it, and talk about it candidly, and ask for help or advice, or like be able to share that story is always the hardest step. So just know that that hardest step is done.
Yes.
The rest is a lot easier than that admission and like discomfort of sharing that, if that makes sense.
Exactly. Because when you admit to having struggled with either one of these eating disorders, it's really uncomfortable, and you sometimes feel like you're not going to be understood or recognized. And a lot of times you don't actually want to admit it, because then you have to admit it to yourself. And I remember for me, when I was struggling with bulimia, binge eating disorder, I knew that something was wrong, but I didn't want to actually admit it to myself, let alone other people.
Yeah.
So I'm just so happy to hear that you're doing better and that you're putting on weight. And one of the main questions that I heard you ask about was like, how do you handle your body changing? And I know that can be difficult, because you have this like preset point that you have developed over the years of how you believe your body should look, what weight you should be, maybe how little you should eat, because you had gotten so small. So now it's about kind of re-identifying your identity and your relationship with your body to being a different focus, like more healthy, eating more food, fueling yourself. So I know that process can be slow, but you're kind of already doing it too.
Yeah. One of my biggest tips is just finding things that aren't about your body as goals to work towards. Like, have different strength goals. Like, say you squat right now, like 195, and your goal is 205. Like, make that your focus every day in the gym, instead of like instead of feeling like you need to look smaller or be smaller or change your body, realize how strong your body is getting, because that's such a good, fulfilling feeling, being like, oh, I'm able to squat over 200 pounds. Like then you feel like a badass and realize that your body's purpose is more than just aesthetic reasons. Yeah. And just, that was always my big thing, is if I focused on stuff as far as strength or getting a certain amount of steps in, or like just having different measurable goals rather than my weight or how small my waist is or whatever, those were always a little more triggering to me. I would say just switch gears in finding your new identity to having different goals that align with that new identity.
Yeah.
And also know that by getting healthier, you're getting healthier. Like you said it yourself, like being at this healthier weight, it's hard to see sometimes, but you are healthier. And that's like the part you need to focus on, is like the only way to heal those gut issues, which like I had dealt with. So like, I wish that was talked about more, the aftermath of EDs and how bad it can be on your GI tract and other areas. The more you get healthy and the more you stay on this path of recovery, the more those will heal and you won't be in pain every day. Your digestive tract will return to normal. You'll be able to eat again without having any sort of pain or backlash from it. So yeah, just stick with it. I know it's hard, but I'd say that like post-show area is the hardest part. Every single day it's getting easier. So.
And like, at least on the nutrition aspect of it too, like Kendall was saying, you are doing the things that you need to do right now to eat more food, like put on more muscle. And so just using that shift instead of focusing on being very restrictive with food and maybe obsessing over how much you're eating, what you're eating, when you're eating, more focusing on how this food is nourishing you, what it's doing for your body, and expressing a lot of gratitude for your body each day and all of the things that it does for you. Because one thing that you said that really stuck out to me was you were so thin that you couldn't walk. And now you are stronger, you're healthier to where you can actually put weight on your back and lift it up. So I just want you to realize, like through these little audio waves, of like how much of a difference that is. And I hope that you're expressing gratitude to yourself for doing that.
Like be proud, dude.
Yeah, that's
like,
huge.
You have already come so far. Use that pride and use that past experience and how far you've already come to just catalyst you to continue going far.
Yeah.
So
we love you.
Yes, I wish I could give her a hug. Also, your accent is so cute.
I know. I listened to it like 3 times because I was like, everything that she's saying just sounds way better than me. I love it. So that's our first audio message, guys.
I love it.
So many new things in today's video. We got our new intro. We got our audio messages. So make sure you email them in at knowyourpowerpodcast@gmail.com. Anywhere like maximum about a minute and a half.
Yeah.
And we can have you on our next pod.
Yay.
Yay.
Why am I like still kind of tearing up?
I know.
The next question is it too soon to find a bodybuilding coach if I'm still very overweight but have been steadily losing weight on my own? I don't think there's ever too soon.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I know for me, one thing that I had wished that I had done when I was an amateur, like leading up to being, well, not even just an amateur, like I would say, let's see, 2022 was the first year that I decided to have a coach year round. And look, that I know, I completely understand that this isn't realistic all of the time. And if you're able to, that's great. But if you really want to be competitive in the sport, the off season is just as important as on season, because the on season physique is built in the off season. When the on season happens, you're chipping away and seeing all the muscle you've built and all the progress that you've made. So one of the biggest things that I did was I decided that I was going to work with the coach in my off season too, so that I had the accountability, that I stayed focused. So it's never too early, but maybe you could, like in the meantime, if you don't want to work with like a coach year round, is kind of just do your own programming. You know what I mean? Like you could do your own programming, and just knowing that everything that I'm doing right now, I'm going to adopt the habits of a bodybuilder, like live the bodybuilder lifestyle before you become a bodybuilder. I always recommend that to people. I'm like, just do the things, like act as if you are one play the role that you eventually want to be.
Become one.
And then you'll become one. And then, whenever you are ready, you can go in with a coach. The good thing about getting with a coach sooner rather than later with bodybuilding is they can give you a better idea of where your physique is at, what division you might fit in, where you need to build, and how long of a time frame it will take, because obviously the higher body fat that you have, the more weight that you need to lose, it's going to take a lot longer. So there might need to be a weight loss phase that happens first before you actually go into your prep phase.
There is no proper physique though, where you have to, it's time to get a coach. You can get a coach any stage. I always made the mistake of getting a coach too late because I just couldn't afford having one year round. So to the girls out there, I totally see you. That is a luxury to have, and coaches can be really expensive. But I also regret not starting with a coach at least 20 plus weeks out. I always started 16 weeks out. I'm already semi-lean because I would do the first few weeks of my prep on my own and be like, hey, here's the macros I'm eating. Hope they're right,
Yes.
And now this coach has the pressure to pick up where you left off and try to get you stage ready. It's a lot easier if you work with them from your off season, transition into your prep.
Yeah.
And then it's all seamless and they already know who you are, what your plan is, and how your body's reacting to things.
Exactly.
So, and sooner is better.
It gives them enough time to get to know your body, which is very important. My coach, I've been with him for 2 years now, and we have a pretty good idea now of what works for my body, which is really, really cool. So if you're able to do that, great. But if you're not able to do that, you can definitely be super focused on your own, for sure.
Yeah.
When I first started, that's what I did. I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to go on podcasts, YouTube channels. I'm going to learn about macros. I'm going to learn how to put on muscle. I'm going to learn how to lose weight, and I'm going to try and do it myself. And I did that to a certain point, and I did pretty good. I put on a good amount of muscle and everything. And then once I felt all right, I think maybe I can start looking for a coach, then I did, and here we are now. So
the rest is history.
The rest is history.
But you got this.
Next question. I love this one. It says, random things you must bring to your bodybuilding show that most often get missed. So I'm curious what yours are.
I'm trying to think. So
Don't you steal mine.
Share yours first, and I'll add if I have anything to add, because you already got the list going.
Okay, so pump up stuff for backstage. You can't always... rely? That's the word. You can't always rely that they're going to have it backstage. A lot of shows do, but it's always good to have your own, because you don't want to be borrowing other people's, because they might, people share backstage and people are really nice, but you just want to make sure that you have your thing at all times.
Stressing over anything.
Yeah. So. And just don't leave it backstage either, because I've done that too.
I've done that.
Extra suit, shoes, jewelry, if you're able to. I know it's not realistic to have two suits, because those things are expensive, but what I learned after me being at the Tampa Pro and doing the fashion show is that suits can break.
That they can.
And you know what I did? I brought an extra suit. I don't know why. That was actually the first time that I've ever brought an extra suit to a show. And I'm glad that I did, just in case they weren't able to fix it. You never know. And then when I went to summer shredding, my wellness girl, her earring broke. And she didn't have a second pair of earrings. So luckily we walked around and, asked the other girls, and somebody had an extra, pair of earring. Actually, you know what happened? She lost her back of her earring, and we tried to find another back, couldn't find another back. So we needed a pair of earrings. I called Angel Competition Bikinis, because they were up front, and said, guys, is there any way you have a pair of earrings? And they hooked her up.
Yeah.
That's definitely something that you don't want to forget. Also, extra sheets for your Airbnb or your hotel that are dark colored, because you are going to stain it and you don't want to be charged, because your tan is going to be gooey.
Yeah. Extra something to sleep on. I do not. That's the one part of competing I really don't miss. I could do the Stairmaster.
Laying there
I could do the diet. I could do the show day. But that sleep before show, where you're tanned and you're sticky and you smell bad,
you don't smell,
and you have to try not to touch anything.
It's not a good sleep. You don't sleep. No. You basically close your eyes and that's it.
And you're so exhausted that you will knock out, but you're also it's so not restful.
You're nervous and excited about the next day at the same time. So you're just waiting for the next day, but you're also running through it in your head all day. But
Don't miss that.
Yeah, don't do that. And then the next thing I would say is bringing slippers and a blanket for backstage. Like you don't want to be in your heels all day. You want to be off your feet to help, relax you, reduce inflammation, get cozy backstage. Like for sure. I love my slippies. I'm wearing them right now.
Another backstage one I have is bring a mirror. I like scouting out the area that you're going to have backstage. If they have a nice bathroom, most of the time you're just in this like empty back room before like literally the stage, like you're right behind the stage and people are just laying there doing stuff. My first show ever, I'm so glad I brought a mirror because I was so nervous. And like you're practicing posing, you don't know how you look, you're trying to set up your phone, you feel really awkward. You don't want to go in the bathroom because everyone in there is doing their hair and makeup. And again, it smells like tan. It's not a good time. Just having like, I think I got like a little $20 mirror from like Walmart or Target right before my first show ever and just had it backstage so I could practice posing. Game changer. And then everyone else was like, can I use it? And I was like, of course.
You're going to be everyone's favorite.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that's one that's awesome. And I feel like at that point, it's like you kind of just leave it there. Like the odds of you like taking it and like walking it back and everything are very slim.
Yeah.
But it's like those like, I used to have one in my room, like as a kid, like that I would get from Walmart, those ones that like hang, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And they're super thin.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll be everyone's best friend. I would say those are the things. And then also just like extra little things, bringing, especially if you're getting your makeup done by somebody else. You got to remember that there's no makeup touch-ups. Like they typically don't do makeup touch-ups. They do your makeup sometimes early at the booty crack of dawn.
At Nationals, I think I got my makeup done at 3 a.m.
Yes, and then
3 in the morning. And then I came home and I gently fell back to sleep.
You're like,
and then of course some stuff smudged.
Yes.
Some stuff doesn't look good.
Yeah.
So.
And I would also ask the guy who does your makeup to give you some of the lipstick or the lip gloss, like have them put it, they should have little containers that are sanitary to put it in, because if you have a lip color that you love, the odds of it lasting till when you stand on show and finals are very slim. So you're going to have to use like a different color or something. So have them give that to you and bring your own little stuff to touch up, because you never know. You never know. So that was a good question.
I also like that on here you have like bring a roller bag, because I've definitely made the mistake of bringing like a rolling suitcase. I always bring like a duffel bag, and then yes, you're getting an arm pump, but you're exhausted at this point. So like hauling that thing around, and you can't put it on your shoulder. It'll mess up your tan. So that is so smart. Bring a suitcase, like a rolling suitcase instead of like a gym bag.
I'm going to buy like a pink little baby suitcase that's about that cute size of the one that Zach has.
I love.
And I'm going to do that because just carrying it around. You've worked really hard. Rest. You rest.
You deserve
guys?
rest on show day.
Yeah, you deserve to rest. Did I read this one? You read your turn.
This one?
You're the reader this
where
time.
Where are we even? Oh, how to reverse diet out of a show. We have a whole pod on this.
We do.
Yeah.
What's it called?
I think it's literally how to reverse diet.
Yeah, we actually have a whole episode that's on this. We mention this a lot in episodes, but we have an entire bodybuilding basics series. Scroll a little bit further down. It starts with the mindset of being a bodybuilder. I think there's 5 episodes total. We take you from the very beginning before you even decide to picking a show, all of those things. So go and listen to that. This is a difficult question, I think, to answer because everybody is different. Reverse dieting, depending on how low your calories get for when you compete on stage, it's going to be different for everybody. You slowly want to start increasing calories. You want to start weaning off of cardio a little bit at a time. That's why it's really good to, if you're able to, stay with a coach in that post show, because that's a really hard time in prep.
I would say when you're like allocating time to having a coach or signing up, and say you sign up for like 12 weeks, try to allocate time for
maybe like 4 extra weeks at least if you're able to.
Like a good month of like having them help you reverse and get to a place where you're like sane and healthy and everything is like slowly increasing, like you're saying. And I think that's the biggest thing, is just make everything gradual. If you are going to do it by yourself, do not go back to like what you were eating and how you were training before you even started prep, but also don't stay on your like peak week program, because both of those can be unhealthy for you at that stage. You just want to like slowly, almost like from week 4, 3, 2, 1, you can almost like just do that in reverse. Like whatever that program, the like 4 or 5 weeks leading into your show, it's literally a reverse diet where now instead of slowly dropping, you'll slowly be adding.
Yes. So a couple of tips then too with your coach is before you hire them, ask them if they give you a reverse diet. So say you're only going to work with them for the 4 months that you're in prep for a show. They put you on a show. Ask them if they give you a reverse diet, because that's very, very important. And then just like Kendall said too, if they don't, or you are with a coach and you don't know, it's really, what I would do is before I could actually work with a coach year round, I screenshotted all my meal plans because I knew that, okay, this is the simplest way for me to do my meals. So then just like Kendall was saying, it's like, okay, this was mine the week before, this was mine the next week. So you literally, like, you're at your lowest and you just keep going back to those meal plans.
A little valley.
Yeah. So just save all of that stuff if you're
paying for it.
I mean, yes. Yeah. Like genuinely do that.
Yes.
The next question is, are you ready for your first competition if you keep having slip ups in prep? I'm struggling right now.
I would say it doesn't mean that you're not ready. I think you just need to assess why you're having slip-ups. I think that's the important part here, and what those slip-ups look like. Like, are you completely like throwing caution to the wind on weekends and not doing anything on plan? Or are you just having like an extra serving of rice and you're considering that a slip up? Because I feel like some of us can be so hard on ourselves in prep. And I was that person where I would have extra vegetables and be like, I'm ruining my physique. Yes. And it's like little things like that are not, in the grand scheme of you working this hard, going to mess you up. You can still be ready. Don't freak out. If anything, stress is going to like worsen your physique more than the extra serving of rice will. If you are having like full weeks where you feel like you are not sticking to plan at all, I would suggest at least pushing your show back. Yeah. Because again, you don't want to have that stress and that like panic time going right into your show because you feel like you messed up too much a few weeks back, if that makes sense. So it depends what these slip ups look like and how you're feeling mentally, because if this is mentally too much for you, then maybe you're not ready yet, and maybe take some time off, go back into an off season and start when now you know what to expect going into prep. Yeah.
And that's completely okay, because we've talked about this before, you want to have a healthy relationship with food when you start prep for a bodybuilding show, because it gets very challenging. You know, it's an extreme sport, and it's hard. Yeah. It definitely gets hard, but it's very rewarding at the same time. So if you have a coach too, please tell your coach. Yes. Tell your coach like exactly how you're feeling and all of those things. Like if you're eating certain things off plan, it can be, quote unquote, feel like embarrassing to have to tell your coach that, but it's better that they know. And this is one of the biggest reasons, because, okay, for example, I had a bodybuilding client that she was on prep and she kept gaining weight. And she would either gain some and then lose it back and go back to where she was. And then it would just keep going back and forth. And when you're on bodybuilding prep, okay, and I have the data that I have, and the data is saying that she is following the plan 100% and she's doing the cardio and all of those things. So on my end, it should be working. Scientifically should be working, but it's not. A coach most likely is going to increase cardio or drop food or potentially both. Yeah. So that's why it's important for your coach to have all the information, because then they know, oh, this is why she might have gained a couple of pounds. She's holding on to water because she actually had a cheat meal when that wasn't on her program. So just please tell your coach. Yeah, because if you're honest, then the solution is just getting back on track. If you're not honest, the solution is having to work more. Yes. And now you're creating like weird deficits. And it's really good to have a really honest relationship with your coach. And if you are someone who maybe the scale isn't moving and you are 100%, even communicate that. And be like, hey, this is stressing me out that I'm not seeing progress, but I swear to you, I'm doing everything on plan. Then you guys can work together to find something that maybe needs to shift or change, or like substitute something in your diet to get you the results you're looking for. But yeah, if you're not truthful about it, don't be embarrassed about it. I feel like if anything, like your coach and you are there to
to grow together.
Yes.
It's not like this is like your teacher in school and they're just there to like discipline you. And it's like, they're there as a tool for you to get to this thing you're working towards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Use the tool.
Yes. And as a coach, they're always happier when you tell them what's going on than hide it.
Yeah.
Like it's just actually easier for both of you. And of course it's that difficult part of like admitting to yourself that you're struggling. And trust me, I've done that. There's been times with my coach where I'm like, Coach, I want to eat something. Coach, I want to eat. And in the past, I wouldn't have told him. And he would, because my coach is awesome. He's awesome. He's like, okay, this is what we're going to do instead.
Yeah.
You know, we'll back off from cardio just for today. You know, on this meal, we're going to have a little bit more of this. Like a good coach will have a balance of pushing you, giving you the kick in the ass, because sometimes it's just going to suck, and that's bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's like, okay, we need to manage how you're feeling, your fatigue management, your hunger, all of those things in this kind of way so that we don't do something we're going to regret.
Yeah, exactly.
So a good coach would.
So not saying that you're not ready for prep or for your first show at all. Just communicate it and just check in with yourself. And again, find out like why you're feeling that way. And maybe if your cardio is too high or too strenuous, or if you're in pain every day because of that, or whatever it is, if you communicate that with your coach, or maybe you're doing your own prep, just like realize that maybe just taking like one step back from there. Like I remember switching from Stairmaster both cardio days to, or both cardio in a day, to Stairmaster for my first, elliptical in the second, and just reducing that back pain that much for me was enough where I was like, the diet's easy now because I'm not in pain and like playing like victim of like, oh, poor me, I'm in pain and I just want to eat food. Like you have to realize also this is a choice and you're choosing to do this. And if this is a goal you have, you're definitely strong enough to do it regardless of any slip up you've had in the past. Just get back on track.
Big facts. The next question is the best food choices post show. I think this is a really good question. And I don't know if this question was intended to be like, ooh, you know, what are your favorite like donut, you know, things, or if it was more so.
Let's answer it both ways.
Yeah. I would say for me, I'm like burger, fries, ice cream. That's my go-to.
Yeah.
Anytime that I compete, I will look up the place, the best burger place in that city that I'm competing in. I already have it ready.
It's so I don't like when I picture you, I don't picture you as like a burger girl. Does that make sense? I don't know. Like I'm a pizza girl.
What do you?
So maybe I just assume you're also a pizza girl.
Do you think I'm a pizza girl?
No. I don't know what you give off.
Are there pizza girls and are there burger girls? Or is there a third category that's like a chicken nugget girl? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Comment
below if you're.
I know it's like burger girl, and there's like sushi girl. I think I'm
a sushi girl.
But then again, that's
also pizza.
That
Pizza's
could be very
like
healthy too.
Yeah.
Okay.
True cheat meal me, pizza.
Okay. True cheat meal me.
And
burger fries.
My last show, or not my last, but all the shows up until my last, I would go and get pizza after, and I was like, I'm going to eat 2 pies all by myself. And then you have one slice and your stomach is this small and you're like, oh.
You're like, I cannot fit 2 slices of pizza in my little stomach now.
So I always tried to have pizza, and I'm such a snacker where I just wanted to go to a gas station and like get candy or like popcorn. Like that's all I ever wanted.
Yeah, and have like multiple little different like snacks so that you have all the flavs.
For sure.
That's awesome, actually. It's like slumber party vibes with yourself.
But on a responsible level, I know you have the note to like not let people bring you a ton of stuff because you're already going to be doing it.
Just because I've learned.
Yeah. And I agree because I feel like I actually feel bad because when people make me stuff post show, I end up like kind of giving it away because like I already have my snacks back in my hotel or like I already have my dinner plans or whatever that looks like. I'm also a huge fan of having like a very normal dinner post show. Like I don't think you have to go crazy. I did a show where I went and got sushi after, and that's the best I've ever felt post show because I got sushi. I had my favorite food. I had 1 glass of wine that got me almost blackout drunk because you're so sensitive to alcohol.
5 months of no alcohol and you're like, wow,
and you weigh like the lowest your body's
Yeah.
going to weigh. So it's straight to the bloodstream. And that was perfect for me. And I think I went back and had like one of those like little halo tops, and I felt good. And I woke up the next day feeling good. Like I'd say immediately post show, you don't want to go so crazy. And again, your stomach is so small because you have been eating such small portions that you're going to feel bloated, distended. You're going to wake up not feeling your best. And you don't want that after your show. Like celebrate, but be mindful of like, how is this food going to make me feel?
Yeah. A lot of things that I did all of these things when I first started. Like I would order things to have ready for when I was, done competing. My friends and family would bring stuff. I'd also like tell them like what I wanted. It's just kind of like a thing with this is a weird sport. I'm sorry. I'm just realizing like this is weird, man. So for my first show, just to give you guys an idea, my first show was in 2020, and my friends asked me what I wanted, and I said I want a pint of half-baked Ben and Jerry's.
I feel like I knew, like we knew of each other, but we weren't like friends yet. I know this photo of you eating this Ben and Jerry's.
I ate the whole pint.
It was on my feed.
before I even left the building. And look, like we're gonna do things like this. Like it's okay. Like if you end up going to a post show and this is what ends up happening, it's okay. You learn as you go along. So now 2024, I tell people don't bring me stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, if you want to bring, you could bring flowers or something like that, because if you have multiple like friends and family coming to support you, that's a lot of different things. And you haven't even left the building yet and having like a good solid meal. So just remember that, keep that in mind. Like, don't have things ordered. Don't have things that are also in your hotel room.
Yeah.
Don't have other people bring you stuff too, then plus going to the dinner, because it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
I've had that really uncomfortable feeling where that night I was sweating. I couldn't sleep because I was sweating because of how much fat, sugar, salt my body could not take, that I had the worst night's sleep and woke up like in a puddle of my own sweat.
Yeah.
That's just me
We've all been
personally. Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah. So just be mindful of it. I'd say plan ahead too, because if it is like peak week and you're that hungry, you're going to make some irrational decisions.
Yeah.
I would say like see how you're feeling a few weeks out and like use that as motivation of like, oh, I get to go to my favorite restaurant with my family after, instead of like, I get to eat all the cake and ice cream and everything everyone brings me.
Yeah. A good tip is wait till you're like out of the building.
Yes.
Like at least wait, like
go home,
go out of the building, get a shower, put some deodorant on. You know what I mean? Okay. Like, then.
Yeah.
Or like have one of your things. Because, people have that shot where they're eating the donut or the one cookie. Find that one thing that you can have like off stage, and then.
There were like gluten-free Girl Scout cookies, like Thin Mints. And that's
cute.
what I had after, I think, my last show. And it's all I ever wanted.
Oh, I can't wait for the day you say, Julie, I'm ready to prep again.
I think about it sometimes. Every time I'm looking a little lean, I'm like, I could do
should
it
I just
again.
jump into a show or what?
I'm like, give me like 12 weeks.
Put me on stage, coach. Put me in, coach.
One day.
I wanted to actually end with one question. And this question is bodybuilding healthy?
I saw the message we got about this, kind of.
Yes. No.
No. I saw, it's not a healthy sport in the grand scheme of sports. I think you can make it healthy if you have a good relationship with it, with food, with yourself. I think it's fully dependent on the athlete. I've had preps where I'm definitely not healthy and it's not sustainable and my mental health is crumbling. And I've also had preps where I feel great and I'm just like looking forward to the next day and I'm thriving. And that's when I'm in my most structure and my most productive times.
Yes.
So I think it's fully dependent on what stage in life you're at. I also think the first prep is the hardest. Yeah. And once you get an idea of what you're getting yourself into, then you can mentally set yourself up for success, because I would say it's more mentally unhealthy than even physical for certain people. Yeah.
And that's the thing, that everyone is different. There'll be competitors that don't have to go so low in calories, that don't have to go so high in cardio. And you might be that competitor. Then there's me, where I got to go pretty low with my calories. I got to go pretty high with my cardio. And that's okay, because I just know that that's what I need to do to get the level of leanness that is going to be competitive on stage. And everybody is different. So, but that still means that both are equally as hard. Like everyone's hard is going to be looking differently. And it isn't something that's sustainable long term. And we've talked about like, you know, post show and stuff like that. That's your point where you want to get healthy again. Like you want to start increasing your calories. You want to pull off of cardio. It can be an extreme sport. You know, it's extreme. So it's not for everybody for sure. And yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I
get it.
It can be really hard, and we even got messages the last time we did a bodybuilding Q&A about like losing periods and stuff like that, and like
that too.
It can definitely go into unhealthy territory, and that's when it's so important to have a coach and have even doctors that you can trust and like get blood work done and make sure your hormones are okay. And there is a healthy way to do it if you're prepared enough. And I think that's why a lot of people, their first prep is maybe the most unhealthy or the hardest, because you don't know these things
yet. Just don't know those things.
Yeah.
Like first prep, I was so new to it. You know, I had a great coach because I had my partner who was watching after me. So I was very blessed that I had somebody that cared about, that genuinely cared about me. And even then I still was doing blood work and stuff. But now I have set myself up to a point where I know that this is something that is not sustainable and healthy long term. So I make sure that I'm having blood work done before, I'm having blood work done after, and then right after, my coach is monitoring me or monitoring when I'm getting my period back. Actually, interesting thing, because remember I told you I thought I lost my period because I know that sometimes that happens.
We were together in Houston, so that was like almost a month ago now. I think.
Usually I don't have it that long. So when I told my coach, he's like, this is actually a really good sign, Julia. It's a good sign.
You don't want to lose it.
Yeah. Like, of course I didn't want to lose it, but I think that this has been one of the healthiest preps that I have had mentally and physically. And the biggest thing is time.
Yeah.
It's just
I was gonna say, this
maturing
is your
in the sport
yeah.
and, you know, taking it easy, taking those 2 years off to really build and stuff. So yeah.
I also think like giving yourself enough time-wise for actually stepping on stage. Like you've been prepping a really long time, which to some are like, I could never do that. That seems like so much stress on the body, when in reality, you're making it easier on your body by being gradual every single day, instead of being like, I have a month and I have to drop 30 pounds this month. And it's like, that is so unhealthy. So giving yourself enough time, if you know you need to lose 30 pounds, give yourself over 30 weeks to do that. 1 pound a week is healthy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
and like my cardio and diet really hasn't changed. And from what I was doing in like my previous chunk, but my body all of a sudden was like, all right, girl, we're going to give it up, you know? And I haven't had to push to a new level of extreme. Yeah. And I'm sitting pretty. Like I was kind of like this morning, like, of course my calories are low and my cardio is high right now. But this morning I'm making my breakfast and I'm like, this is the best that I have felt.
Good.
Like being at this quote unquote, like extreme. And I was like, bro, I think I can take more. I was like, come on. And I was like, wait, no. If I'm losing weight at this, what I'm doing now and feeling this good, great. And it just comes in maturing with the sport.
Good.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Send us in your questions always. We love hearing them.
I also love bodybuilding specific ones because it like, since I'm not in prep, I get to like live back in like prep Kendall's body, and they're just like so much fun to answer. So any sort of like bodybuilding specific questions, always send those in.
Yes. And we can do another one of these because we want to like still keep that a part of the podcast, but we love you guys so much. And as always, you're more powerful than you think. Bye.